My guest on the program is retired Air Commodore Abayomi Balogun. He has 33 years of active service under his belt and was part of Nigeria's peacekeeping efforts in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and various joint military operations in the country. These days, he advocates for war veterans and is a security expert both locally and internationally. When it comes to tackling insecurity in Nigeria, he gives us a few ideas and is optimistic that the new security chiefs will get the job done. Retired Air Commodore Balogun, welcome to Dateline.
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, I've read quite a bit about you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
The way the military was run at the time when you were in active service, because you're retired now.
I am.
But you've been on the ground. You've been at the war front, not in Sierra Leone, in Liberia. Yeah. You know, in joint operations in Nigeria as well. At the time when you were in active service, is there a difference between how military operations were carried out then and how they are carried out now?
Yeah, I would say so, because I've told some people that we forget yesterday. If not, what we did in faraway Liberia and Sierra Leone was the ideal way to go, where we were all our brother's keeper. The Army and the Navy and the Air Force, we fought together in unison, and that's why we achieved what we did. And even the operation in Nigeria started on a good note. They were fighting jointly, especially when the operation was under the command of the DHQ. But when they changed that and the services went their ways, and normally it is in unison that you can achieve more. Until we learn to come back together and fight as a team, then we will succeed in no time.
Mr. President has always tried to talk about the fact that, you know, the agencies that are fighting insecurity in this country have to be in unison, you know, and those are the same sentiments that you're re-echoing right now.
Yes, of course, they must fight in unison. In fact, there is a document that the President signed in 2019 called the National Security Strategy. And that document shows how to go, the way to go, the guideline of how to ensure Nigeria is safe and secure. And it calls for an all-inclusive approach where everybody is involved. But then, I don't know why we do that in Nigeria. We will come up with resolutions, everything, but just to implement those things will be a problem. I'm not expecting the president to sign such a document and it's not being implemented, because if they have enforced it, the military have no other option than to work together.
Talk to me about the morale of our operatives at this point. What can we be doing differently to boost their morale?
Okay, I will start from Nigerians, the citizens. You have sent these guys to go and defend you, to go and protect you. What have you done for them? Yeah, it's normal, because if you want to motivate people to serve you, you must also show them that you care about them. Take, for instance, we are sending a football team, national team, to go and play Brazil. Several people will come up and say, go there, score a goal, and we'll give you $1 million. Win the championship, we'll give you a house, we'll give you whatever. Has anybody promised a soldier going to a destination where he may never return and say, go and come back, we will look after your family in case of eventuality? No, we never say that. We just expect that they must. Yes, soldiers have agreed, we have signed our life. Immediately we join, we sign our death certificates. But then people must continuously be encouraged to do more. So if you say the morale of the troops, yes, sometimes it is low because of what they pass through. But then if you provide other things, it can make up for that. You must have enough equipment. They must be adequately trained. Their emoluments must be paid to them on time. Then you expect them to answer you. But if any of those things are missing, then their morale will sink and they cannot perform to the optimum. So it's a collective responsibility that we too must show them that we care. We must show them that we are behind them and will look after their family in case they are no longer there. But we don't do that. So I think we have a role to play as citizens.
Shanties are a reality, not just in the nation's capital, in Lagos, around the country. And it's actually, it's a symptom of a deeper problem, which is the fact that it is difficult to survive in many cities in Nigeria, especially in Abuja. So what happens is, because people cannot afford to live in the city center or cannot afford to live in the suburbs, they move into these shanties. Yeah. And these shanties have become a hub for crime and criminality. We're talking about 21 kidnappings in Abuja alone this year. Yeah. And we're just in March. You work with a lot of veterans. I want us to lead up to that. Start with telling me what you think should be done about shanties, because demolishing it, is that the solution?
I don't think so, because there are places you call ungoverned areas, and that's where the bandits are in the north. Ungoverned area where there are no government presence, so those guys are free to do whatever they want to do, because government presence was not there. The basic amenities that were supposed to be there from us Nigerians are not there. So those guys become the lord of their territory and they do whatever they like. Now come back to the shanties. Like you said, those are places the low class could afford. So they move in there, which lack government presence, which lack basic amenities. So they remain there. But then all the negative things happen there, because not much attention is paid to them. So what happened? Drugs freely, so many negative things. And then they come to the town, harass you, and then go back to the shanties. So, like you said, clearing the shanties alone will not solve the problem. We must go to the root cause. Why are those shanties created? They are created by these same people who could not afford to live within us. So how did we create that inequality that will not allow them to live within us? They must travel away to go and stay in such places where nobody is paying attention to them, and then they become lords. Now you went somewhere about out of service. There are different categories of soldiers who have left the service. There are some who left honorably. There are some who were discharged and they will get paid. They will get their gratuity, they will get pension if they were due for pension. But the ones that are becoming a threat to us are the dismissed ones. Once you are dismissed from the service, your families, they are ejected from the barrack. They are not paid anything. So where did they go? They have to go to the shanties.
A lot of people are dismissed from service, though.
Yes. Because I will say it, we never took our time to look at what happened to the soldier at the battlefront. Number one, if you send a soldier to a battle, by the time he comes back, it's not the same. It's a different person. Now, at the battlefront, where daily he sees his colleagues being killed, he himself maybe sometimes narrowly missing death, and you think he will not be affected psychologically? No. So sometimes when they misbehave, you need a psychology to look at them. Is this behavior a natural thing or induced by other factors? So if you have a psychologist at the battlefront, there must be. Emotional intelligence must come to play. Look at the man. How does he feel? Is his morale okay, or is low on morale? Sometimes you excuse them when you see such traits and say, no, go and rest.
Retired Air Commodore Balogun, thank you so much for being with us on Dateline.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.